Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Nation. I'm your man, Rod Lovin. Hey, I know those of you who are watching the show right now usually hear me say, I'm going to pivot to the general, but the general isn't here tonight. He's on special assignment. But we do have two guests with us. And again, let me correct myself. Earlier, I talked about Let's Talk Nation, but we just had so many shows going on here. I don't know which one I'm doing sometimes. Those of you who witnessed the sit down and Miss Driver, well, I tell you, your story was incredible. We're going to go into segment two of your story, but in this segment, we're going to have your COO participate in this, and that's none other than Pastor Lewis. And welcome to Let's Talk Nation. You doing all right? Hey, you know what? You are absolutely blessed, and the work that y'all are doing are blessing other people too.
Yes. It's just what we've been called to do, actually.
Well, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to make you a co-host right now. I want you to go ahead and do that introduction of your COO, and then let us know what he's overseeing. But the other part of it is, as I mentioned to y'all out front, I see y'all, you work well together.
Yes, we do.
So make the introductions. I didn't do it justice.
Well, Let's Talk Nation, it is an honor for me to be here today, first and foremost. But I would like to introduce you to my Chief Operations Officer, Pastor Anthony Lewis.
And I'm humbled to be associated with you, Sharon Drive. I've learned a lot from you, and I believe that God put us together, and I've been trying to move on.
I heard that off the screen, but
Yes.
you know what? When you're a part of something greater than you,
Yes.
man, it's just so hard to move away from it.
It is bigger. It is bigger. And Brother Love, I mentioned pre-show that when I got out of prison, God had put on my spirit and in my heart to create a space for women coming out of prison. I didn't really know why, because I didn't really know a woman in prison. I really didn't. And it was years later that I realized why God put that in my heart, because it prepared me for meeting Sharon Driver. And it has been a heck of a journey. I've learned a lot from her in this area of transitional housing. And it really has been a tremendous blessing to me. But it's amazing how God can put something in your heart and it marinates over time. And when the time is right, God brings birth to it. You understand?
Yes.
But you got to know that the vision is from God, or you'll flush it, or you'll leave it, or you'll hide it, or get rid of it, or throw it in the can, trash. You when you know it's from the Lord, you always looking and saying, okay, now, Lord, when I know it's a vision that has to you, but when? And when I met her, that was the when.
So I know you said earlier, this was something that you always wanted to do. This was your purpose, but all the pieces hadn't come together.
No, they hadn't.
So how did you know all the pieces had come together then? And also, Ms. Driver, how did you know he was the right man for the job?
Well, I will tell you, very simple. My faith is strong in the Lord. So he has never left me nor forsaken me. And so I tell people all the time, like I told you, if you come across my path, I didn't call for you. You were something.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so when Sharon Driver had already launched, she's the founder and CEO of S&D Enterprise. So she had already started, and someone knew my passion to help women coming out of prison with me. And when they knew her, they said, Pastor, you want to do what someone I know is already doing.
Okay.
I said, okay. I'm the kind of person that I don't have to have my name in neon lights as long as the show goes on.
Yes.
I don't have to have, we as a people, you got to be careful with that.
You're
We got
right.
our name.
You're right.
So I said, Lord, as long as the show is going on, I'm okay not having my name. So when they introduced us, she was at a very interesting time in her development. People don't realize that business grows in phases, and when you reach that growth point, you know what I mean? That growth pain point, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business person, you know when that is.
You recognize it and you know you have to do something about it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because, and because it begins to stretch you.
Yeah.
And she was being stretched. You understand? God? Yeah, she was being stretched. So somebody said, listen, why don't you go and talk with her? So I have a friend of mine who is into real estate, and he's been in real estate for 20 plus years. And I said, listen, man, Miss Driver, somebody told me about her story. I'm impressed with it. Let's go and meet her because I believe that she's paying too much money for rent for the properties. And I think that we can help her bring it down and maybe infuse some knowledge into and some direction into clear direction to what she's doing. And so when we got together, we sat there and we said, okay, listen, we believe that we can help you with this, and we believe we can help you with that. So we ended up, helping her for about 3 months. And we helped her through some very challenging times.
Yes.
And let me say this. I don't know if she said it in the prior segment, but I'll say this real quick. Sharon Driver said pre-show, and she wasn't cutting the corner, that she had been evicted out of her house, and she also has a car repossessed, right? Well, when you are looking for help for somebody, those are things that resonate in a person's ear that want to help you. Well, why? What's going on? You don't manage money well, or what
You're
really
right.
going on?
Yeah, you want to know.
Well, I found out that she got evicted out of her house so that the way women and clients in the
Sacrifice for the business.
exactly.
A lot of people don't know business owners do that.
You do that.
I do it.
So I didn't get stuck on that because when I found out why it happened, she said, well, listen, there's no need of me paying, for my rent in a very, very nice area. You understand what I'm saying? And then I got people that are depending on me that are going to be kicked out of the house. It ain't going to happen.
And you know what? Listening to you talk, and for those of you who are tuned in, if you ever heard Mark Cuban, and a lot of people are familiar with Mark Cuban, who's on Shark Tank, and he just, last year or so, sold
He sold the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, but if you listen to him and what you're just describing about this driver, and for my employees around, let me just say, there's sometimes that the business owner don't take a doggone paycheck to make sure.
So you get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and it's because you can make your business prosper.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to make them sacrifices. So
that impressed me.
Okay.
Are you with me?
I'm with you.
That impressed me because I saw a woman who was willing to sacrifice for the good of those who depended on her. She said, listen, I'm not going to have you come out of prison. You look us up and have confidence in us, and then I end up having you go on the streets while
she told you to look them up to have confidence in the company.
Well, no,
That's he's saying that I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
I'm established now.
Okay.
So people are coming home. That's the last thing I want to have happen.
For them
I don't want any of my people to ever be put out. Let me receive the 3-day notice.
Gotcha.
But not my residents.
Man.
And that's what happened. And it impressed me and my man. And what we ended up doing is helping her for 3 months. And then when we got ready to help, we helped her in certain various areas. And then we tried to move on. And she said, no.
You trying to move?
Wait a minute. Would you all consider being my chief financial officer and chief operating officer? I said, let me think about it. It had nothing to do with her. I said that I had other things that I needed to do, and so I said, well, and so after a while, fast forward, we decided to help her, and it's been almost 4 years, around 4 years now.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
That's exactly right.
And
so we went from 4 to 6 homes at that time.
I had 5 at the time. I had 5 at the time.
All right.
So yeah.
Just imagine, and this is what I'm helping people to understand. Folk that want to get into not-for-profits, folk that are in for-profit, no matter what you get into, you have to benchmark where you're at in order to measure where you want to go.
That's right.
Exactly.
And so y'all both have seen people's lives that you've impacted tremendously.
We've gone a step further than that. Let me give a shout out to my brother Neil Lavelle, who is my CFO, my Chief Financial Officer. And that's what I say. God takes care of me because Pastor Lewis is not only my pastor, but my mentor and my Chief Operations Officer. He's also like a father to me. And Neil Lavelle is the brother. From another mother.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you something. We fight just like siblings.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. He wouldn't take nothing from me.
Man. But don't, the interesting thing, and when me and Doc get into it, the fight is always the fight of love about, hey, I'm saying this to you for your own good.
Oh yeah, that's them. That's both of them. Yes, and I accept that.
And I'm sitting up here, but I'm thinking about the work that you're doing, and I can't help but to come back to the fact that Orange County is the 5th largest municipality in the state of Florida. Orange County has a population of 1.5, 1.6 million people. Orange County is growing every day.
Oh, yes.
Development in Orange County, we're starting to cap out. The only way to go is up.
That's right.
And so, with that being said, there's a lot of need in Orange County too. And just imagine, we're a rock throw from what they call it, the #1 destination in the world.
Mickey
Right.
Man.
Where dreams come true.
Where dreams come true. Hey, that's a commercial. We're gonna cut that. And Doc, we're gonna cut that, and we're gonna sell it. By the way, but here's the other part. What y'all are doing when you're talking about impacting the lives of homeless individuals, when you talk about domestic violence victims, when you talk about returning citizens.
Yes.
There's a high demand and need in that area, and that is why I want to continue to have some conversation. I want to partner with your organization so that we can navigate and look at how do we continue to fulfill the need. But what people don't realize when you're doing that, it's this thing called resources.
Yes.
Mortgages have to be paid,
That's
light
right.
bills have
That's
to be
right.
paid.
That's right.
And the other part of what I love that y'all are doing, you're not grasping for resources for the sake of grasping for resources, even though we all deserve to be able to have a 401k, send our kids to school,
That's right.
and put a little nest egg so that when we get to a point where we're going to sit on the porch, we're sitting on the porch comfortably.
Yes.
With that being said, Orange County, and I'm going to say Orange County government, the city of Orlando, those are areas that, and I'm saying this with love, we got to figure a way to navigate in there to look at how do we help them, not just helping S&D enterprises, because you helping Orange County is helping the citizens of Orange County.
That's right.
Well, people don't realize that they always ask us, how did you end up with 12, 13, 14 homes? And we tell them, and they're always blown away when we say, listen, we've not gotten a grant. We don't have a rich uncle.
No loans.
The
No, Rich Uncle, I like that. No,
No.
No
And the
argument.
person that won the $1 billion lottery didn't call us. We don't know them. So
know why y'all
everything that we have done has been, I call it,
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat,
Equity.
tears, equity.
Grunt
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break in here and I'm gonna indict the whole Orange County, Central Florida area. See, because I'm a native. I was born and raised here. And one of the things that has always frustrated me in trying to get things done here is that people tend to have the attitude that someone else will come along and fix the problem, fund the problem, or give you money to do the problem instead of going out there and making a way. And what you've done, see, y'all didn't ask for permission.
That's right.
You didn't
And
ask
you
for
have a
permission.
proof of concept. And you got a proof of concept.
And you went out there and you executed. Do you know how many people I know that want to do youth programs? I've been in this space a long time. What Rod
Hey,
did.
speaking of you, hey,
I
Doc,
did mental health. I
finish
did
what
mental
you do,
health. I
and we're
did
going to
halfway
take
house.
into that.
Rod, don't interrupt me. I did halfway house, returning citizens. I work with them and all of that stuff. I've been fighting this fight a long time. Kids, young adult, at-risk adults, returning citizens. My heart has always been in the helping space.
Me too.
And I know a lot of things. Now, I didn't live. It was a time I didn't live in Central Florida, and when I came back, I could not believe the disparity that I saw in my community. It hadn't progressed, and it was like coming back to a time capsule, literally in a lot of ways. And now, here it is, a lady from Pascagoula, Mississippi, that came down here and kicked off a thing that people that's from here haven't been able to do themselves.
But your proof of concept is one thing, because and I understand from a business perspective. I understand government, and Doc and I are hard on government. But after you've established yourself as a proof of concept, and you also, there's process. Come on, let's give it. There's processes. That old biblical, you have not because you ask not. I know y'all don't ask.
Yeah.
But now you're multi-dimensional from the standpoint of let's shift some gears. Your shop program.
Yes.
Talk to us about shop, because we know the population that you're dealing with your facilities are adults.
Right.
But shop extends far beyond that now.
It does. So the other foundation that I wrote is called the SHOP Foundation, SHOP. And the acronym of that is Sisters Helping Others Prosper. And my mission for this program is to empower and uplift individuals through support, mentorship, resources, fostering a community of collaboration and growth. And so this program is virtually, the vision of it is to inspire and equip young girls ages 10 to 25 with the tools, knowledge, and the confidence to realize their full potential. And we aim to create a supportive community where they can thrive personally, academically, and professionally while fostering a sense of empowerment, resilience, and leadership for the future. And that foundation was developed so that other entrepreneurs out there in the community, women of class, career-minded, education backgrounds can take these girls up under their wings and show them the way, talk to them, be a listening ear. And that's very important because a lot of girls out there just need somebody to just listen. And I found that to be very helpful.
So let me ask this question. You went down to age 10.
Yes.
And I gotta say, I'm glad my girls are 18 and 22 because those younger years, Daddy just, I don't know, man. I'm glad my wife was there. Let me just say that.
Yes.
And there's a lot to be said, and I truly believe this. If people got a problem with it, so be it. That's your problem. But I believe men are built to raise those boys to be men. And my mother did a great job with me and my other 3 brothers, single parent. But I also believe women
Yes.
are the only ones that can raise those girls to be women.
That's right.
And so you went down to age 10.
I went to age 10 because the objective is for those kids that are lost in the system. Some of them just need somebody to say, I love you.
Mm.
And I'm here for you. You want to talk to me. But I can relate to so many of them at that age.
You know
because
what
of
the
my
first thing?
childhood trauma.
But you know what the first thing is? In order to get, I don't care, boy or girl, to get their attention, really to get their attention, you know what the first thing you got to do? You got to build trust.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And so with SHOP, is teaching these girls from the age of 10. So let me give you this scenario. You got a 12-year-old
Mm-hmm.
that you're working with. Here's a 12-year-old that don't think that their mother, and nothing that their mother say.
I got a
is,
14-year-old I'm working with right now.
Okay.
I had her all day today too.
so they shadow you.
Oh yeah, I'm a real mentor.
Okay, but I want to know more. So, but are you teaching? Is this SHOP program one that you're teaching because you can't do it all yourself?
Right.
Is it one that you're teaching other women how to mentor these young ladies as
So
well?
that's the dynamics of the organization, is to have those different type of women that have the education, that have the discipline,
Okay.
that have the compassion that I have to see another young girl, and it don't matter the color, the age group, the race. It does not matter any of that, because it takes a village still.
Yes. Yes,
It
indeed.
still takes a village, and so I just want to be the arch in that village.
So with that, and Pastor, I need your help with this.
Okay.
Now, while I said I believe that a man can raise a boy to be a man and a woman raise that
The
girl, but I think it's critically important for the men to be in their children's lives, male or female,
That's right.
as well as the mother.
Mhm.
So is there a dynamic where you have males, that play any type of role? And I want to be careful as I navigate that, because you don't know sometimes some of the traumas.
That the boys
Yeah.
are going through.
Yes.
That's right.
So how does that dynamic work?
Well, I have some amazing men in my life. Pastor Darwin Tatamy. I have amazing brothers, like I said, Brother Neil Lavelle. Men in my life that are doing great things,
Yeah, okay.
that I can channel the boys off to. My brothers, they're awesome boys. Men,
You
I
know,
should
they
say.
say-
They're men now.
They say the hardest step in one of the longest journeys is just that first step.
That's it.
It is. Well, I have seen Sharon take children out of tents, homeless, in the woods that are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I have seen her take women who have violated. Remember, we're having returning citizens.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
See,
stumble
now y'all
along.
getting a little bit more complicated because when you just said what you said, and Doc, I know you're following this. When you said, see, the way my mind was wired as we were talking about this, I'm thinking that these children are coming from stable homes, but they might be what you call ungovernable. These are children that
And when the
At
mother
risk.
when the mother violates or goes back to prison or jail, she has taken them into her home, not one of our transitional homes. Let me be clear about that. Into her personal home.
What role does DCF play in this?
Well, she connects with them,
Okay.
and most times when DCF comes, they say, "No, that child needs to stay here." Most times, DCF will say, "No, we're not going to remove this child. They are where they need to be."
That's a crack that I never even thought about when you talk about homeless individuals, but also individuals that are homeless and returning,
That's right.
Yes.
and then they have custody of the children, or they get custody.
Well, many of them don't have custody, but they sometimes get visitation rights, and then oftentimes they'll get their children back, and we help them along that way. Gina's a prime example.
And this is some information. I mean, Doc, I don't remember us ever. What, we've been on the air 8 years now. I can't ever remember us having a conversation like this ever. And this is one of the ones that have fallen through the crack because as I'm listening to this, this is something that's highly needed.
Oh, highly needed. Listen, let me say this real quick, and then I'll get back to the point I was going to make. People don't realize that women are going to prison now more than in the past. Used to be a brother or a guy in prison. Not anymore. Women now are going to prison at an alarming rate, and they're going to prison at a younger rate than in the past. You understand what I'm saying? And we're not realizing that women are going to prison younger and younger and younger now, and more women are going to prison. And so when Gina Del Ponte came out of prison, we go into prison, by the way, talk to the women, find out how long it'll be before they get out, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and then they call us, we give them that number, they call us, collect, we take all calls, and then Gina called us and said, "I need a place to stay."
I picked her up myself.
Came and picked her up from the bus station.
Yes.
Came and we put her in one of our homes. Fast forward, Gina had lost custody of her children. Her sister had raised them, and so on and so forth. Where Gina now has gone from renting a room from us to having her own place, her own home, her own brand new car, a wonderful job. Because she started working for us. And now she has shared responsibility between our organization and Love Care. Now, Love Care is the chief financial officer who learned from Sharon Driver what we're doing now. And now he has opened up 4 or 6 5 sober living homes.
State certified.
And he had no idea of anything about that until now let me tell you how that happens.
Yeah.
When you have an ex-felon, you can't get FAR certified.
That's right.
Now, FAR certified is government certified, whereby they channel not only a sober living client to you, but they also help pay for that client. Where we have felons, and we couldn't get FAR certified.
That's right.
He does not have a felon, and that's how we ended up pushing off on him. And he has now taken that, and not only has 5 or 6 homes here, but is now opening up some homes in South Florida.
Wow.
So you see how that,
Wow.
you see how that,
but you see how that works. But then also in the first segment, I don't know if you caught this, and I know Doc did, when I said you're impacting the lives of the people that you're directly servicing. But I'm gonna tell you, we live in America. America's about business too. And I mentioned to you, the other thing that you're doing is you're creating jobs. You're creating opportunity. And look at this individual that you, what was her name again? That came Gina. Prime example.
Yeah.
And she has her children back.
All 3 of them.
Wow.
All 3 of them.
And she has her children back now.
Doing wonderful.
Oh man.
And how are you keeping the data and measuring what you're doing, your successes as well as
So I tell people all the time, the demographics is great, but I allow my success to be the noise.
right.
I don't have to
That's
be
right.
out here waving the red flag. Oh, y'all see me, and no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not who I am.
And let me tell you, Doc and my love, I understand that statistics are important and numbers when you're trying to get a loan, when you know folk want to give you a grant, they want to know what's going on. But let me tell you something that just happened. What's her name? Bill Gates.
Melinda,
Melinda.
yeah, 42
What-
million just recently.
To HBC. right?
Yes.
Okay. Here is one of the things that blew people away who are in the money that she did. They wanted to know what strings attached did you attach to the money that you gave to them people. And she says, I don't have this. None.
None.
You know why? Because they do what they say they're going to do. They have succeeded against all odds. She
Proof
says,
of
I'm not
concept.
putting any extra.
Yeah.
I'm not putting any extra burden on them. They have demonstrated. This is the point I'm making. They have demonstrated to me, and ought to be to everybody, that they do a lot with a little. So
You're
I'm
right.
not putting any strings on that. Well, that's what we're saying. If you give me a choice of giving you a Gina story or some statistics, and I'm in a bank or trying to get a loan, or I'm before folk who want to give money, I'm saying I'm not giving. I ain't giving you no statistics.
But
I mean, I might, but my point
let
is, let me talk to Gina. Hey, Gina, come on in the room. Let's
but
talk
let
to
me,
them.
and Doc, do I want to defer to you real quick with CPAS or what?
No, you go ahead.
So
Well. Okay, I know. Okay, so what CPAS does is it will validate. It takes the guesswork out of where your money going, your community dollars are going, and it shows you a pathway, the path of where it works, and how much money has been spent per man hour. It reduces where you have to focus. You know what needs services and what doesn't. Okay, and it literally is a tool that will make governments and organizations stop wasting money. It gives you real time, up to date feedback. So you don't have to guess how many hours were spent
you
last
don't
week.
have, it takes the guesswork out. Totally.
On dealing with juvenile health. It's right there. So last week I spent 17.35 hours dispensing help to juvenile services. Okay, and in that it was broken down like this. You know, we did food, we did mentoring, we did mental health, and that's all.
Tell your story, and Doc, if you don't mind, Doc, you did a perfect job. So when you talk about Gina, it tells the Gina story for you with little effort on your part. Here, I was Deputy Secretary of the State Department. Our budget was $740 million. I ran an agency, and my signature was on those contracts. 4,000 employees from the state, but then another 4,500, 5,000 because our agency was heavily privatized. So you talk about 8,000, 9,000 employees. One of the things I learned on that side of the fence was we would have pastors come and meet with us and tell us their stories about all the people that are helping. Well, my attorneys and my contract managers and everybody sitting in the room, what they were waiting for
The paperwork.
for the paper.
That's how they function.
You got proof of concept with your residential. This is the same process, but what Doc was just explaining to you, Dr. Randy Nelson, a good friend of mine, PhD, community engagement. Whenever you see something unfortunately take place with law enforcement in communities around the country, you see Dr. Nelson as the expert that goes in, works with law enforcement in those communities. Dr. Nelson and I, 15 years ago, started the development of CPAS. It was so expensive for engineers to develop this back then. We started in India and eventually had to bring the development back into America. Everybody that works for me, we have subcontractors, we have subscribers. All you do is grab your smartphone or your iPad, a smart device, and to give you an example, one of your homes, you just push a few buttons to say who's at that home, how
Mhm.
many days are they at that home,
Right.
your wraparound services, who are they engaging with? You pushing a few buttons.
Mhm.
It's customized. At the end of the week, the end of the month, 6 months, 2 months, all you got to do is a couple of keystrokes, and it'll tell you all of the activities that you've done.
Mhm. Mhm.
Little effort.
Wow.
And so I hear you. Gina's story is moving, but
They want. We know what they want.
do you know what? And this tells your story because now it's indisputable when you go to government and you lay this out. And what I do is I challenge government. My CPAS gives me more information than the government has,
Wow.
and it gives you so much data. Some of it, some folks say, "Do you really need all this?" Well, if I'm going to ask you for taxpayer money, I need everything that I can possibly give you to
That's
convince
right.
you
That's
because
right. Sure.
it's transparent
Yeah,
and it's accountable.
and there's an accountability factor. We understand that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Man.
we understand that.
I'm impressed. So let's because I want to help as much as I can. Your residential, y'all rolling. What I'd like to do is engage so that we can see how that synergy can manufacture some relationships in government.
Yes.
But this shop is something that I think you might be on the cutting edge of. So how with mentors that are interested in going through a training to understand how to talk and relate to that population, how do you have a curriculum set up, or how do
I
they
do.
engage?
I'm glad you asked that, and I do have a curriculum, a heavy one.
Oh, I see your mission statement.
Yes.
Wait, let me. What's that mission statement?
Oh,
You-
definitely. I got it all. The Shop Foundation is committed to empowering girls and young women between the ages of 10 and 24 years old who are experiencing homelessness, instability, or lack of support. Our mission is to provide transitional housing and holistic services that promote safety, self-sufficiency, and long-term independence. And we aim to create a nurturing environment where every girl feels seen, supported, and equipped to build a stable future. Understanding the complex barriers these young women face, ranging from trauma to educational disruption, we offer structured guidance, mentorship, and skill building opportunities rooted in compassion and practical support. Through stable housing, emotional care, life skills training, and educational development, we provide the tools and guidance necessary for lasting transformation. And as a kid myself, if I'd had these tools, if I'd had somebody pouring into me, listening to me, or just understanding, instead of me just being a name on a piece of paper, being shuffled around.
Yeah. You know, as we're having this conversation, I'm sitting up here processing because y'all know there's a lot of things that we take for granted.
Mhm.
And I'm just sitting up here trying to imagine a 10, between the age of 10 years old to 18 years old, the fear
Yeah.
that they got to be experiencing to not know where you're going to rest your head at night,
Mm-hmm.
let alone an adult experiencing that, but a child.
Yes, the stable housing is so vital to the rest of their stability. You have to make that sure that there is a roof over your head, and you have to know that you're able to go to a safe space.
Yeah.
In the evening. We have a client named begins with J. Did we get her off the street?
Yeah.
She's home.
Yes, she was homeless.
She was homeless.
Yeah, she was homeless.
Okay.
So how do you engage? How do you, I mean,
She's still with us. by the
And
way.
she's still with us. So getting out into the community and making these partnerships and connecting. So I've shared my story with numerous
Mhm.
people. And so that's what they want. They want people that have life experiences to help the people that are in need. I've been there. I was that child once before. I probably have never been homeless, but being a juvenile runaway or coming up through the system, like I said, being shuffled around on paper and making rough decisions in life, navigating the course by myself, so to speak. It's rough out there.
it is.
And there's one school that I nominated to support for back to school this year. That one school alone had 178 homeless children, and that's one school.
Yeah,
And those are
yes,
kids
yes.
that are sleeping on couches.
couch surfing. in
That's
people's
kind of
garages.
that's kind of rampant, and not just in Central Florida, but that's a nationwide trend where
Yes.
the kids are often the only meal they get is that breakfast in the morning when they get to school
That's right.
and that lunch
At
meal.
lunch. Mhm.
And I found out in looking into this, one of the reasons that they do try to schedule those meals closer to midday is so that it can sustain those kids.
So, hey, Doc, let me. I'm gonna pass it back to you, but I'm sitting up here processing. You have a proven concept on your homeless houses for adults, and with my background in juvenile justice, I'm very familiar with the dual status kids from DCF that's foster care that a lot of them would otherwise be homeless. Have you thought about what I mean? Because the cost increased because when you're talking about children, you got to have a supervisor in the home.
That is
Mhm.
correct.
Have you thought about?
So I have a budget.
Yes.
When I wrote the Shop Foundation, I have a budget where I was asking for $250,000 to support this organization's growth and financial stability. And this funding would provide critical support for our initiatives. And that it covered everything.
So let me tell you, when you're speaking government, and you gave me a hard number, and you don't have to answer this,
Mhm.
but what government is more often looking for, as we're talking about in the concept of this, is at a rate of $250,000
How
annually.
many?
How many?
That's right.
And they're looking at the day counts, and then they're also looking at the other ancillary things that go along with it, such as food.
Mhm.
Um,
It's all broken down. I got it all broken down for you.
have y'all engaged? And I'm sorry, this is my experience coming out. Community-based care. Have y'all had any conversations with community-based care, which is the arm of DCF in Central Florida that has Orange, Seminole, Brevard, because it was a new provider that took over for Embrace,
Okay.
and they've had it about a year now. But that's an entity that you definitely need to talk to because the need is great. At one point in time, and Doc, you can profess to this, that a sad piece of commentary is when DCF actually was housing kids in the office overnight. And so, I mean, I think this is something that
Yeah. One of the challenges that we get a lot of calls
Yes.
for a lot of different things because people feel that we can relate to, and all of these issues are oftentimes interrelated. It's a challenge. We get calls all the time. You just called me last week and said, Pastor, on one of your homes,
Yeah.
can you take this lady who has a 10-year-old child?
Mhm.
We get that all the time.
All the time, every day.
But here's the issue, though. Folks want us to house them, and we always tell them, listen, we can literally open up several homes specifically for this need. But when it comes down to the ching, the cheddar, nobody wants to,
And I understand it, and that's the conversation. I'm glad we're doing it on air.
Okay.
My father-in-law is the preacher of this family, but there are some things that I clearly understand. I mean, you don't ask, you don't get. But then, as I've evolved, there's some ways to ask that is almost from a perspective of commanding.
Yes.
You got a package here.
Well,
Yes.
look, listen. You know how we, and I know that our time probably is limited. Let's see how we got to where we got. We did not wait for someone else to commiticize a problem that has been in existence,
that everybody knows about,
and it is in existence, and it will be in existence. So I recognize, and we recognize, she recognized that you guys, whomever, guys, girl, gender neutral, you want to do, but you haven't done. And if we sit back and wait on someone,
That's right. It'll never get done.
I'm glad you're taking the
done.
position that you're taking. But let me say this to
it'll
you.
never get done.
Let me say this to you, and I'm gonna memorialize this. But when we oftentimes act is when there's a damn tragedy.
That's right. So let me reiterate on this. So my mentee that I had with me today, I called her mother on Friday. So her mother called me to ask if I could get her today. And I said, sure, because the one subject I want to talk to her about is how does she handle confrontation at school? Look at those two kids of ours. And I say ours because they're our kids. And again, it takes a village that were at school. One bumped the other
Oak Ridge. Yeah.
and took their frustration out to the basketball court
And a life is lost.
and
Yeah.
a life was lost. And so I shared with her today that how would you have handled that? And before she could answer, her mother said she would have been fighting.
Mhm.
She would have been fighting. I said, so no. So go ahead and have a seat because I'm going to show you how to do this thing. I'm going to show you the flip side. One mother is bearing us a child,
Yeah.
and the other one may never see her child again.
Yeah.
And there's two families that have been ripped apart,
Devastated.
devastated. We have to start teaching our kids better solutions than pulling out the weapons.
Doc Love, I am. It's because of my mama. My mama Floretta was very straight to the point, and she didn't play. I really don't either. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
I really don't either. I understand the politicizing. I understand the need to chum up to. I understand all of that. While we are sitting here talking, the Titanic is going down. Are you with me?
Yes.
Are you? So I think that we have the necessary resources to at least start. I don't know if you know anything about kindling wood. Kindling wood. If you're in the South, you know something about kindling.
Remind me, is that the wood that will ignite, but it's aged wood, right?
Yes, and it is the wood that lights the
Yes.
the power of wood.
Uh-huh.
We don't have enough kindling.
So what do we need to do, Pastor?
It's just what we're doing here.
Having
And
this
with you,
conversation.
and with Doc said something about starting a home, or he's been interested in this for quite some time. Well, here it is. If we can do what we've done, and we hear this all the time, don't we, Sheriff Driver?
Yes.
If y'all can do what you all did without,
Mm.
what
imagine-
would you
yeah.
do if you
Yeah.
had?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, let me tell you about the Shark Tank concept. You understand? Somebody comes and pitches an idea, and then you have folks there who say, look, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. I think that our community, and I see this all the time, and no offense to anyone who is not of our hue who's listening to this, we need an urban Shark Tank. We don't understand oftentimes the number of assistants that we have among one another.
You're right.
Now, granted now, we need 5 of our folk to equal perhaps 1 of the other folk to make a difference. But we do have the 5 folks.
You're right.
But
Go
listen,
Well,
I want to say this because I
ahead, Doc.
got the perfect example of what Pastor's talking about. There's a Facebook group that's about that's for Black businesses owned in Central Florida. Okay, I won't say the name of the group, but I knew the admins in there, and I told them, I said, you have in excess of 30,000 people connected in your group. I say, and basically everybody in there, all they do is come in there and put up flyers. Nobody is cross promoting, nobody is networking, but you have this is a commodity. This is a power base to launch from. I said, why don't you monetize it? Get everybody to commit to 1 year,
My God.
paying $20 a month,
My God.
go lease a space and launch a entrepreneurial hub. Oh, they'll never do it. They'll never do it. Right away.
All right.
And I told him, I said, this is why we don't succeed. Because many times we don't like to have these conversations, but see, I'm the Negro that will have the conversation.
I'm with you. I'm with you,
Our
Doc.
people are too busy being stingy with knowledge and information
That's right.
and gatekeeping, doorkeeping, and crabbing. And we've got to kill that spirit. We got to kill that spirit before we can do anything collectively.
And you're right, Doc. You're right. But here's the thing that I'm gonna say, and Pastor, I agree with you. And let me say this: we don't have any shame. Just like white people should not have any shame for being white. Hispanics don't have any shame for being Hispanic.
That's right.
We got to be able. I hear when people say, I'm proud of my heritage. But when I hear black folks say it, they say it with a softer tone.
Right.
And I started paying attention to
I'm
this.
black and I'm proud.
So here's something that I'm gonna say. I don't disagree with what you said. Matter of fact, I support what you said. But it's this thing called with me.
Mhm.
And I teach my daughters this as well. And I spoke, Doc, I spoke somewhere a couple of months ago, and I told the audience, pronounce this with me. Everybody said with me. I said, that's going to be real important as I get into what I'm talking about.
With me.
And I said, everything we do, no matter what color you are, there's a with me in the back of your head. And for a lot of us, that with me is in the front of my head.
Mhm.
With me is what's in it for me.
That's right.
And while some people might say that's selfish, some of my white counterparts, my friends, I remember when I was coming up, and I used to always say, mentor me, show me how you're doing this, help me. And one of them said a couple of years later, he says, Rod, you got yourself together, man, but your presentation is bad. And I said, well, help me. What about my presentation? Say, you're well spoken, but I'm a businessman too, Rod. And you're asking me something that you're not telling me what's in it for me.
Right.
Just like you go to banks and you get a loan. What's in it for them is their interest rate.
That is true.
So you got Hispanic heritage. White people take pride in being themselves as well. Black folk need to take pride and do exactly what you're saying. But the counter side of that, Shark Tank, aside from what's the black guy sitting up there?
Damon.
They fund what's in it for them, no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what's in it.
No, absolutely. If we had another hour, I can tell you what's in it for black people.
See,
especially in these days.
yes,
Especially now. And if we don't see what's in it for us to invest in us, we are in a huge trouble.
but you know what? That's a perfect segue, and I'm inviting everybody, and this is the part of the show that I make sure that you know what's coming up. And we had this conversation in the lobby, and I'm gonna let y'all help me with this. This coming Thursday will be 30 years since something happened, and I'm gonna just give this little prelude, and Ms. Driver, Pastor, I want y'all to take it from there. But and Doc, you already know we talked about it a couple of shows ago. This thing that happened 30 years ago, come Thursday, was phenomenal.
Yes, it
Was incredible. The world had never seen this before. We got to get out of this thing of being about the moment and being about the movement.
Exactly.
And so now, coming Thursday from 6 to 8 here in the Let's Talk Nation studio, we're going to be hosting. And I'm going to pass it to you, Ms. Driver. You tell people what took place 30 years ago come this Thursday.
30 years ago, this coming Thursday, was the Million Man March.
Incredible when you look at
Historic.
the National Mall. I mean,
it was phenomenal.
but guess what? And I'm going to pass the baton to you, Pastor.
Well, I mean, what are the measurable results of what took place? Yes, you need feel good. Don't get me wrong, but there has to be a transformative. There has to be a measurable result of whatever took place, and this is absolutely no shade or criticism for what happened, because you give kudos where kudos are due. But what now?
And I'm gonna say it. Doc and I, we know how to. I mean, I know y'all know how to fight too, but I'm gonna say it. That was an incredible time, and if you say what was measurable that came of that, you get goose eggs. Nothing. And so let me just read this. In 1995, more than 1 million men gathered, not in protest but in purpose, as black men, fathers, leaders, to take responsibility for our homes, our communities, and our collective future. It was a moment that defined blackness, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It was a moment that defined blackness. Unity, visibility, and pride in who we are. But, come this Thursday, it's going to be 30 years since that took place. But 30 years later, we gather under a new banner, one that builds upon the foundation. This is not a rejection of blackness. It's an evolution of purpose. We move now from blackness to rightness, Yes, you know, blackness was the awakening. It was the fire of our consciousness that got us there. But rightness is the continuation. It's the discipline that measures whether that fire produced light or just heat. And I like to believe it produced light. Blackness is calling for us to stand up. Rightness is calling for us to stand firm. Blackness gave us identity. Rightness demands accountability. Blackness was the march. Rightness should be the movement. Rightness means that we're doing morally and ethically and structurally what's right. Not just for the moment, but for generations to come. Pastor, you talked earlier, and Ms. Driver, you talked about what you're doing, but you know, you've evolved to another point when you started talking about shop.
Yes.
Now we're talking about going into those encampments and getting those children
That's right.
out that are homeless and looking at how do we develop them. That is rightness. But rightness, again, we got to do things for generations to come. When MLK and Malcolm X did what they were doing, they knew they weren't going to benefit from it.
That's correct.
They did it for the ages and the generations to come.
That's correct.
We're called to create systems that last, programs that are data-driven, policies, and inclusive. We're not asking for any special treatment because the same thing that y'all have done with this proof of concept, don't nobody give a damn on whether or not it's black, white, red, or blue.
That's right.
Y'all got proof of concept.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we
Y'all
don't care what
deserve-
color they are either.
You deserve to be at the table. And my father-in-law, Pastor Richard King, often says this. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
That's true.
And so this Thursday, I'm asking people, you got to RSVP or you can tune into the show, but we're going to talk about the 30 years, and now we're going to talk about things that we can measure. We're going to talk about what is important to us. Is it the reduction in crime? Is it how people treat us? Is it economics? You talked about Shark Tank and getting those black entrepreneurs, those black businessmen that had a wherewithal. And you know what? I got to give credit. Some that I know personally that's doing a great job across the country. Attorney Greg Francis.
Oh yeah.
Attorney Greg Francis, for a lot of you who are unfamiliar, this guy settled the largest black farmers lawsuit against the federal government, $1.2 billion. Greg is doing a tremendous job around the country. Another friend, and y'all see him on the TV on a regular basis. I talked about Dr. Randy Nelson, goes into communities around the country and trains law enforcement and trains community stakeholders so that we don't see tragedies like we've seen. I don't have to say much about Attorney Benjamin Crump. You know, you're talking about a crusader. When you talk about pulling that energy together, again, man, I don't care what color you are, but we got communities that are in desperate need. And I'm going to just say this to our elected officials. I mean, I know we got elections coming up. Why? See, Doc, you know I'm going to go over right now, but we got communities that don't get no better. Where's the focus on those communities? Where's the focus? And for those who talk about over-policing and things of nature, you got neighbors in those communities that say they want to see more police because of the situation and the conditions that they're living in. We got a Orange County mayor's race coming up pretty soon. Let's not ask the damn questions that we need to ask before somebody get elected.
Well, if I might just speak very briefly to that, because my church is in Paramore, where Doc says that he is from. It's on Paramore between Long and Anderson. And I am 2.5 blocks from where the Magic plays.
Okay.
Let me tell you about a community. And my wife's from Chicago, and I've lived in Chicago. I was born and raised in South Florida, and at about 16 years old, I moved up to Detroit, Michigan. And so that's my second home, Detroit. Let me tell you when there's a transformation. There was a time when nobody paid any attention to Harlem because of the drugs and the crime. When somebody wanted Harlem, they changed Harlem, and you can't buy a home there now. You can't buy a home. West side of Chicago, where the prostitutes walk, where the Michael Jordan the stadium was. They were going to tear that stadium down and then build a stadium out in the county. You'd have to go way out in order to watch Michael play. Well, they ended up changing their minds and then keeping the old one and then building a new one there. That whole area now, you can't even buy a home. and it's on the west side of Chicago where prostitutes used to walk. I can go to every city from Cleveland, you name it, to Miami. Whenever somebody wants that land, and Paramore now is going to be where you can't even buy in that area. So here's my point now. It's not unchangeable.
Thank you.
And it's not undoable.
I grew up there, and I said this 30 years ago. I was upset because I grew up there. Okay? I watched those people sell off that property left and right, all along Paramore.
Yes.
All along Church Street.
Yes.
All the way up to Rosie O'Grady's. I watched them. I knew business owners. Because see, what y'all don't know, we had barbershops, we had lawyers, we had dentists, we had doctors, all along the skating rink. Y'all didn't know that. A bowling alley. Okay? It wasn't destitute. It was a thriving community. And people came in. At one point in Paramore, in that area, there was 98% home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know another black area, a black city in Orlando, in the Orlando area? It's called Johnstown. It was over there where Reeves Terrace at, in that cemetery. That was a thriving black town.
Yeah.
Hey, so Doc, you and Pastor Lewis are doing to me what you normally do to me. And what is that, Doc? What is that? Go ahead and tell them. See, the clock on the wall tells it all. And you have opened up a conversation that could take us to another hour. But here's something, and I'm glad you brought it up, Pastor. When property is dirt cheap, you're going to have what we see. Some people call it gentrification. Position I'm going to take, we need folk like yourselves that are going into communities and helping reduce all that ills that community, because if property values are low, they're low for a reason. So why don't we look at who we elect, number one, and see if they're doing anything for and about those communities. But Pastor Doc usually do this. He'll bring up a big issue that we can't really. But you know what? We may have to come back to have this discussion. But as I get us to close it out, Doc, he does what you do to me, but I ain't gonna let it happen tonight. We're gonna close out. Hey,
I keep telling you, you on the broadcast. You go
I know, but I gotta be disciplined.
Hey, Lady Drina, we got a celebrity watching us tonight. Lady Drina in the audience.
Hey, Lady Drina, how you doing? Hey, but here's what I want you to do. We got 2 minutes. I'm gonna finish with you. Pastor, I want you to look at that red light, and I want you to express in 30 seconds what you want people to know about what it is, the mission that y'all have been on.
Well, we are about changing lives. We are about creating a bridge for people from the mishaps that they've experienced and putting them on a sustainable path of growth and ownership. And in fact, first of all, you have to have ownership of your own self. So what you've done wrong, mistakes made, in conjunction with some injustices, and then do better. Just do better. If I had a message for Black folk, and that's all I say for the rest of my life, and never give another sermon or speech, I'd say do better.
Do better.
Just do better.
Doc, I like that. To the point. Miss Driver, hey, it has been a pleasure, and I tell you, I got a lot out of this. Look at that red light and let people know what you want them to know, but also give them your number again.
Okay. Well, yes. What I want you to know is that returning citizens come home that have served their time. I'm just asking society to give them an opportunity to be sustainable, to get back out there and show their self-worth. Give an opportunity and not a second sentence. I can be reached at 407-995-4895. Anybody that's looking for some mentoring or some guidance, some resources, please feel free to reach out to me. And anybody that wants to know how to run transitional housing, sober living, please
reach out. Hey, I want to thank both of you for joining us on Let's Talk Nation.
Thank you.
This has been an incredible, teachable moment for myself, and I know Doc will definitely be giving you a call.
I'm waiting.
Hey, Doc, go ahead, man. 30 seconds.
Man, this is so critical. We need to be teaching this stuff because just like these people see in our community, opportunity for Harlem. Why can't we see it?
Yes,
right.
yes.
If they see it, we see it, but we don't move on it. Now, the next place I'm telling y'all now, y'all mark this. This is October 13th, 2025. You will watch Pine Hills and Washington Shores become gentrified next.
That's right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and there were some plans in place already to make it happen.
Well, go ahead, Doc. Finish out because I want to tag on
I
what you.
can't do that with you.
Yeah, well, that's to push you along. But go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so but another time I'll go into that.
And to Doc's point is this, and I think everybody needs to know about this. The fact that Orange County government is expanding the number of seats from 6 to 8, and Pine Hills is one of those areas that is going to be impacted by that vote. And we're gonna, I believe right now, if I'm correct based on the maps, it may subsequently become District 7, which will take it out of District 2. Again, everybody, do your homework on the people that you elect. Make sure that you ask the questions that you need to ask. But on Let's Talk Nation, once again, I want to thank the both of you for being here. Again, for everybody on this Thursday from 6 to 8, we're going to do a special episode, 30th year anniversary for the Million Man March. Tune in every Monday from 7 to 8 with Let's Talk Nation. And once again, I want to thank our special guests. We'll see you next week on Let's Talk Nation.